Hello everyone, and welcome to the Virginia Bushcrafter, the channel where we continue to learn and practice all the wonderful, fun skills of bushcrafting, prepping, and survival for the wilderness. So if this is your first time here, welcome. So guys, you've heard me say many times that I feel the most important bushcraft skill is Firecraft. The fire is the heart of a campsite, but we must have a tool to help create that fire. And that tool is your knife. And if not your knife, it can be anything with a blade, all the way down to a piece of glass. So it can be an axe, it can be a hatchet, a kukri, or just a small knife or saw. But as long as you have something that is considered a cutting tool, you will be able to make that sustainable fire, build your camp, and so forth. So today I'm going to talk about a tool that I have yet to use in the bush. As you know, I like to analyze a tool. I like to learn that tool before going into the bush. I want to find out as much as I can before going into the bush. Then go into the bush, put it into practice, and come back and give a review. So today, the tool that I am going to be speaking of is a cold steel tomahawk. A cold steel tomahawk. So, what drew me to this tomahawk is basically that it's very lightweight. It is generally lighter and slimmer than an axe. That's right, much lighter, slimmer than a full-size axe, which makes it very easy to carry. It's very portable. You can just put it in your backpack, your rucksack, and off you go trekking into the bush. So that is the first thing that really drew me to a tomahawk. Again, because it's light and it has a very slim handle, much lighter than a full-size axe. And again, I can disassemble it. Handle and the head. And if necessary, I can even make a handle in the bush. Now, one of the things that's very important for a bushcrafter is wood processing. Now, with this tomahawk, it's going to be very handy when it comes to cutting small branches. Basically, delimbing the branch. And that can very easily be done. For example, here's something that if it had branches, you could just remove them. So by removing those branches with this tomahawk, that's going to allow me to make kindling from those small branches. For example, this branch, I can just make kindling with this method or that method. Many ways to make kindling with this tomahawk. And once I make the kindling, the next thing that I can make with this is feather sticks. One of the easiest ways to make feather sticks is just by the placement of your hand on the head of this tomahawk and make feather sticks in that method. So again, I'm going to delimb a branch, I'm going to make kindling, and then I'm going to make feather sticks. And this tomahawk is also good for clearing small branches such as vines, briars, small saplings, new sprout, young growth, green sprout that just grows up. Really good for that. And another thing is that with this being as light as it is and slim as it is, it's very good for, I would say, tight areas where a full-size axe or machete may be somewhat awkward. So it's going to fit into those small pockets that you can't use that full-size axe or large machete. But something that I really like about this is that this tomahawk is much more powerful than a knife because you can get more leverage. It's much more powerful than a knife, but it's easier to pack than an axe. So when it comes to wood processing, the tomahawk is a great tool for a bushcrafter. Now, another thing, when it comes to camp setup, this is an ideal tool. For number one, when it comes to driving tent stakes, I can just remove this, use this hammer portion to drive tent stakes into the ground. I can also use this to make notches to build a shelter. I can just baton this and make notches. So this is a great little tool to make notches, insert your tent stakes and so forth. And you can actually use this when you're batoning. If you need to baton or split some wood, you can get a larger piece of wood and actually baton this because it has a hammer end. So it's great for batoning. You don't have to worry about mushrooming the eye out. But really you want to use green wood or straight grain wood. You want to avoid twisted knots or large knots in batoning any of your tools. So again, stay away from knots, large knots in your wood. Saw right before and after the knot. So here again, this is a great tool for camp setup. Again, drive those tent stakes, make notches. You can form, you can make tent pegs, you can make poles. It's all left up to you what you want to do with this tomahawk. Now with this tomahawk, this is also good for fire making. You can strike a ferrocim rod against the spine, 90 degrees right here. You can strike the ferrocim rod. You can actually open up fat wood. You have fat wood, you can actually split it, and then you can make tinder. You can split that fat wood and use the hammer portion to smash that fat wood into tinder. So here again, this is a great tool for fire making. And it is the tool for Bushcraft Tasks. Again, a removable head that you can scrape with. You can actually scrape with it. But one of the greatest features, I think, will be using this as a wedge. If you have a large piece of wood, large diameter, along with other wedges, you will be able to split that log just by inserting this as a wedge, using another wedge. So that's one of the great bushcraft tasks that you can use this tomahawk for. Now, another great feature of a tomahawk is its durability and easy to maintain in the field. Now, usually these are made of carbon steel. This one is 1055 carbon steel. So it's easy to sharpen in the field. And many of these have replacement handles, which I'm going to get a replacement handles and have two of them, because one is none and two is one. But yeah, a lot of these come with replacement handles. And again, they're usually made from carbon steel, so they're very easy to sharpen in the field. So it has a great durability to it. Tomahawk has a lot of features for a bushcrafter. Now, not only in the bush, but this is very good as an emergency utility. You know, you can do light prying with this because of its great length. You know, doors, crates, even self-defense. Very good. Again, because you can use it for light prying. And even if you had to break through debris, you know, in an urban setting, for example, like drywalls, plywood, thin boards, light framings, plaster, even light masonry, you could use this for an emergency utility. So again, this is a tool that has many features. Again, it's lightweight. It's great for wood processing, camp setup, fire making. It's a great tool for a bushcrafting task. Again, because you have that removable head that you can use for a scraper or a wedge. It's very durable, easy to maintain in the field, and you can use it very well in an urban setting as emergency utility. Again, light prying, drywalls, plaster, crates, masonry, thin boards. So guys, don't sleep on the tomahawk and think that it's not a bushcraft tool. There are many bushcrafters that use this tool, and again, it is considered one of your cutting tools. Again, fire is the most important skill in the bush. The most important tool is your cutting tool. And this has just been added to my collection. All right, guys, so join me in the bush when I get to actually put this into practice, and we'll see how well it works. So with that said, guys, go ahead, hit that like, leave a comment, share this video out, hit that hype, and ring that bell so that you'll get a notification each and every time the Virginia Bushcrafter uploads a video. Stay safe, everyone. See you in the bush.